Yeah, I didn't finish it last night. So, hey, Monday morning. I've been out. Excuse me, I've been out here way too long. Um, yep, that's last night's part. I got a good single pass. My double pass, on the other hand, is looking kind of fugly. Some of it looks pretty good. I mean, hey, I like the way that looks. Then it gets a little ugly. I mean, little things that might help is if I had some acetone to clean with, and if I was taking the time with a stainless hand brush to clean it off instead of using the little air wire wheel. I know, bad boy. I also know guys who run this stuff all the time, and that's what they use too. But once again, they do it all the time. The other thing I was really hoping, I tried turning the amperage down a little more, but it's as low as it will allow it to go at the moment. Apparently, when them little Orientals made those things, they didn't think you had to weld anything lighter than 14 gauge or 18 gauge, not 40. Man, I'm screwing up this morning. What does it say? Yeah, 14 gauge. That one right there. If I turn that to where that line actually lines up with that 5, the little blue light flashes and it won't do anything. I don't know, maybe it thinks that the wire speed's too fast at that rate, but I think the wire speed's going okay. It's just a matter of I need to cool it down a little. And actually, I could dump the wire speed a little bit, might help cool it. With a running steel, you can play with the wire speed, and it makes a difference on what you're actually hitting for heat. Doesn't change your amperage any, but it changes how hot you're blasting through it, so I might have to try that. Should have thought about that yesterday. Would have saved some headaches. Should have thought about that an hour ago. Would have saved some more. So anyway, that's what the ugly thing looks like. I'm kind of debating on if I want to put a little gusset on it or not. I'm not sure. It isn't going to hurt to do it, but I don't know that it really has to have it. Haven't pulled one apart yet. Of course, our old 4-inch one that was on the other pump. Yeah, let's see. See if I can get my hand in here. Yeah, it came out to about here. And that one we did have gusset across. It also got drug out of the creek in the high water once, still hooked to the pump. Down there in the bike, we had, I don't know how much rain all at once. It was early 90s. I was logging and still trying to do stuff out here once in a while, and there was flooding everywhere. I got out here and it was too damn deep. I didn't want to take a tractor down there, and I didn't have time to mess around with taking the tractor down, so I took a bike down. I made 5 or 6 trips back up and down, and my last trip down was like, well, we got to glory be this one or nothing. Hooked the chain to the front of the pump, hooked her to the back of the bike, and I got to run at it and jerk the whole works out of the creek at once. And we had the suction line tied to a T-post. That was part of the issue too. And that T-post was, top of the T-post was about 4 feet underwater. The water was up bottom of the gas tank on the bike. And I got the pump jerked out. Once I got it moving, I didn't stop till I made it up to the yard. I almost stopped. There was one spot where the water came up over the gas tank, down below the feed barn, between the feed barn and the bridge. Low spot in there. And I just kind of lifted up on the front of the bike and kept my thumb on the throttle hard, figuring, it's going to die right here because it's going to flood out with water. Never did. But that's probably the ultimate test on the end of one of these things. And I didn't even know if I still had everything by the time I got up here, until I got up here. Water was too deep. So anyway, by the way, another nice overcast day. Just so you know, just good hay drying weather. Watch the grumpy farmer complain about his no rain, and oh, we ain't got any rain either, but it ain't wet and it ain't dry. Cows are still on that yellow pasture. And yes, it's yellow now. I was going to run this travel in a different spot, but we might end up running that piece first. They got to go over into the big hayfield where a couple of them have already snuck. I see one in the middle of the screen. I think there were 3 cows out there last night and 5 calves or something like that. Is what it is. So, anyway, we'll try to get you something here in a while. Maybe get that thing in and going. Hey, I did see one reason why I might have been having a little trouble. That gauge right there. Yeah, that's like at almost 55 cubic feet an hour. Probably should be more like about between 20 and 30. I'm not sure where you really run argon. I think it's about 25. On our CO2, we run it at 30 to 32 on the MIG. I was going to show you some sketchy shit. Because you do what you got to do sometimes. Right there. You can touch the bare one on the round one. Don't touch the other two. Oh, wait. You can touch them. Won't do nothing to you. Unfortunately, we don't have that style plug on anything. We've got the old 3 flat prong dryer plugs. And let's see, the welder on the service truck has 4 prong with 1 round. So, that one don't do me no good. I don't have an adapter for it. So that was my adapter. It worked. I was a little skeptical because that test cord's pretty light. It's probably 16 gauge. Never heated up. Worked fine. I had one issue yesterday. I walked over here and let's see, that light right there was stuck right next to that magnet on the side of the drill press. And with my welding helmet on, I hit it, knocked it down and hit the wire, and nothing was unhooked. It just wouldn't work. I don't know why. So I unhooked everything, hooked it all back up, and boom, it was working again. So I don't know how many, I didn't look on the panel to see how many amps that thing really pulls. But I do know that it'll go through about 5 feet of 16 gauge wire without any issue, because it worked fine. Here's finished product. I did turn it down. See if we can see the difference. Where that big glob is, right in there is kind of where I stopped and turned it down last time I showed you. And I finished this up through here with it turned down and wasn't having near the trouble burning through. I could actually weld a little farther before I had to stop. But, yeah, I used way too much argon. Like we're down to almost nothing. No wonder. I was told his tank was empty. Mine is now too. But that's together. Now I can see if I can get these other 2 bolts out of there and get that thing on the end. Then go put her together and make some water fly. I'll hopefully get you something to do on that, one way or the other. Hey, guess what? You've already seen 2 clips of this and whatever else I was doing this morning. Number 1 got the cows moved to the other pasture. I don't know where she is. She hasn't come back up yet. My wife just called me and told me some sad news. Well, actually, number 1 called me this morning and told me some sad news. I don't know if y'all remember, I had to go up and help her pull a pretty good sized calf here, I don't know, a month ago, I guess, maybe longer. Well, their neighbors were shooting off fireworks last night. Apparently the cows were all underneath the trees right along the road, right across the neighbor's house, and I'm assuming the neighbors were launching the fireworks right there. Well, you take, what do they got? Half a dozen cows plus calves and a few yearlings in there in a bull. They're all huddled underneath the tree for the night, and somebody lights fireworks off. They tend to go a little apeshit. Well, that calf ended up with a broken neck out of it, so they're burying him today. And say my wife just called me and gave me the bad news. One of the greatest country music singers of all time has passed away. Rest in peace, Charlie Daniels. Also one of the most staunch conservative people in the public eye. I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but he's just singing. I just threw the CD in. It's Charlie Daniels Day. Respect. Rest in peace, sir. Listened to him since I was just a wee little shit. And I don't know how old he is. I know him and my dad were about the same age, give or take. Anyway, I'm going to throw, a minute and 25 seconds. I hope the whole thing loads. Number one sent me the video this morning talking about their calf. That'll be on the end of this. And I'll probably put a different one up, getting some water flying. All I got left to do is get that lined up right and get it tightened up. And then go down and get it on. So that's the stage I'm at. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. Oh wait, that's where the noise is coming from. But that's just noise, and you know, I hope there's no copyright infringement with that, because I like to think that Mr. Daniels was a little better person than that. So if YouTube heard that, hopefully they'll leave that alone in respect, even if there is an issue.
Well, as you can hear from the moos, Midnight's not very happy this morning. They all came out to find her calf, Survivor, that my dad and I pulled, had passed away this morning. Nothing anyone could have done about it, but I'm going to have some very upset cows this morning. And my fiance's brother is having some trouble this morning too. So I'm just trying to hold the group together at this point. Just having a really hard time this morning, that's for damn sure. And my fiance's brother, Adam, flat out told me, he said, I'm just ready to start drinking. The only thing we can figure out the cause is that there's some fireworks going off last night that shouldn't have been going off. They were huddling underneath those trees right there. Instantly broke his neck, and it looked like when they broke his neck that he was choking, by what I can feel and tell. No struggle though. The only thing we're missing is the steer and another cow and a couple babies. It's gonna be a long day, y'all. Bear with us.